So the crypto market has been taking a dump the last few days, which sucks. But something I like to do whenever trading is stressing me out is play online poker with Bitcoin and crypto. And the main site that I've been playing on now for over 7 years is Ignition Poker. I'm basically a regular on this site and typically play the mid-stake games between $200 and $500 a buy-in per table. And they do have the option on here to play with play money as well as real money. But if you guys want to test out this software, you could do that. But honestly, it plays great whether you're playing on your phone or PC. I kind of mix it up with both. Anyways, instead of just rambling on about them, I wanted to go over another recent session I played here and got a nice winner, chicken dinner. I'm also going to be kind of explaining why a tight aggressive strategy is usually the best approach to playing these online games. Of course, if you wanted to learn more about Ignition or get started with them, there will be some bonus and resource links you can check out directly below in the description. Don't forget to have that like, and let's get into these hands. Okay, so yes, tight aggressive is going to work for a while, but ultimately bluffing is something you're going to have to get good at as well. By putting people on ranges of what they might have and how they act pre-flop, this is kind of like next level thinking. But, you got to understand that probably when you get to about 500 no limit this stake, the players are going to get better. The money can be better. Obviously, you could play for couple hours and be up $1,000. It's not uncommon, okay? Especially if you get good cards and run good. But the thing is, people are going to try to outplay you when they don't have anything, and you got to try to outplay them when they don't have anything. So you really need to start thinking about poker in all aspects of it, meaning that, this is a competition. The player with the best hand doesn't always win, and sometimes you could take the guy with the best hand off their hand by trying to figure out what they might have, and throwing in some bluffs. And bluffing is a bit of an art form. It takes time to get good at. You're not always going to get your bluffs through, but as long as you're throwing some bluffs into the mix, I think it's important, and I think it's going to help get your win rate up over time. But yeah, if I had to put a percentage of times you should be bluffing when you're playing a hand, I'd say it's about 10%. Okay, so, you can keep your tight aggressive strategy going. That's totally fine. But, you got to throw about 10% bluffs into the mix. I think that's a good amount for the hands that you're playing in. And it is important, guys. I mean, you can't just sit back. You cannot sit back, just wait for hands and, play them just tight aggressive. People are going to realize what you're doing. And you got to become a little bit unpredictable when you're playing. It is next level thinking, putting people on ranges of what they might have in certain hands, certain boards, all these kind of things. It's all next level thinking, but I mean, you're going to have to get to that point if you want to continue moving up and, making more consistent money. Okay. Anyways, the only thing I'm going to say about this one, I, for some reason, limped with this hand. I don't know why I didn't put in a raise. I might have been doing something I wasn't paying attention. I don't know, or I might have just missed that click. But for whatever reason here, this was probably my only mistake of this session was, right there. Definitely stick around to the end, guys, because like I said, we did get that double up, and we had some interesting spots that you're not going to want to miss. All right, but here we go with pocket fours in the big blind. And I'll tell you what, I probably played this as best as anybody could have. And yeah, I didn't get aggressive with it. I knew that I was ahead, obviously, on this flop. So I was really just hoping a turn card would be good for my opponent. Pretty big raise too, $25. Normal size would be like 15 or 12.50, but this guy decided to go with 25. So he's basically saying, "Hey, dude, I've got a strong hand," right? I mean, basically. But when you hit that 4 on the flop, especially on this board, it's kind of like, wow. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Well, it could get better, but at this point, I know I'm ahead, right? So I don't want to exactly get super aggressive with this at all, okay? So, I decided, because I knew he didn't have anything, let's just check it, and hopefully, we get some kind of face card, and of course, the ace hits. And it was a good ace because, no flushes got there. We're looking pretty good right here. And, it just felt like this guy had ace king, ace queen, right? Those are the two hands I'm thinking right here. So he's going to put in a bet. And I decided, instead of just calling, I'm going to do a min raise. The min raise is really confusing, I think, right? Because it looks like what am I saying here? I also have an ace, possibly, but I do the min raise. And what I didn't expect him to do, I expected him just to call because, why not just call? Instead, when I make this min raise, he's going to come over the top on us and go all in. And I'm just sitting there licking my lips like, okay, let's do this. I felt the entire time I was ahead here. Obviously, if he had pocket aces, that would be pretty brutal. But, you can't think like that. I'm thinking more like ace, king, ace, queen, and he's just overplaying his hand here. And it's tough. But my check on the flop was super tricky, very, very tricky. And I think that just helped us get to this point of him making this move. So obviously, I insta call. He's drawing dead with the ace, king. And I'll tell you what, guys. I don't think I could have played that any better. Let me know your comments if you think I could have, but I really don't. I think that the check on the flop was, it could have gone either way, but I think checking was good because I just knew he didn't have anything. I needed him to catch up. And when that black ace hit on the turn, that was everything right there. And, obviously helped us out. The next hand, I was just in the big blind, and I probably should have just folded this one, but I figured, we just got to double up. Might as well just, make a call here, open up our game a little bit more, play some more hands. But I wish I would have just folded this one, honestly. And for the most part, I'm not saying I played perfect in this session. There were probably some things I could have done better. But overall, a lot of the spots I was in, I thought I played good. And, it is the little things when you're playing online poker that are going to make or break you, especially in your sessions. It's those little details, those little things. And, another thing I always talk about, use the hand replayer on here. They have a hand replayer that allows you to rewatch your session. So you could always do that to, see how you're playing, see if you're doing some things wrong or you could be doing better. I do think it's important. Anyways, here we go. Like I said, I probably should just muck this hand, but I'm going to end up putting a bluff in here. It wasn't my greatest bluff move either. Just shouldn't have played this one to begin with. What are you going to do? Him checking this really just told me he was weak. The problem with my bluff is that I went way too small. I only bet $30 at this. It should have been more like 60 or 70, something to like make him think that he's not good here. But instead, I bet too small. $30 was just too low. I gave him a good price. That was the problem here. And I knew it. I knew I should have bet bigger, but, it happens. That was a bad play. All right, anyways, on to the next one. Another hand I probably shouldn't have played, but this one worked out. We had a queen five, offsuit in the small blind. Decided to call the small raise because we had a little bit of money in the hand already. Obviously, if this hand was suited, I would have called it, but the fact that it wasn't probably made it a situation where I should have just folded it, but I played it, and, fortunately for us, we got lucky with this one. And, of course, this flop was one of those where, we're really never going to fold to a continuation bet because we're going to have an up and down straight draw. I don't know what this guy was thinking about. It's $5, dude. All right, my bad. I'm not sure what happened with this guy. All right, good. He's gone. All right, anyways, up and down straight draw. Can't really fold here. We paired the 5 on the turn, too, so now we have a pair at least, but we still got up and down. He kept it small enough for me to make the call too. So I called, we got there. Very lucky. And I put in a small value bet here. It was not big at all. It was like $30. Just hoping he would make a call if he has like 2 pair, maybe a pair of aces, and he didn't want to give it up. But really targeting those 2 pairs that just don't want to fold, right? That's what I'm thinking here. Good sizing. Unfortunately for us, he's going to think about it and fold, so he probably didn't have anything good to begin with. All right, next game we had pocket kings, and we were dealing with a 3-bet. Didn't know exactly how else to play this. I'm sure you guys would have done the same thing here. Or at least somewhere along these lines, because what am I going to do? We got pocket kings. All right, so I think I open up to 22 bucks. This guy did a small raise to 55. So then I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so really the only hand that we're losing to here is pocket aces, but I can't think like that. I'm thinking maybe somebody, I'm targeting, really what I'm targeting here are those ace kings, which is even less likely because we have kings. I'm thinking pocket queens maybe in the mix here, maybe some ace queen suiteds. But, you know, this is the play I made, and it is what it is. Now, I could have 4-bet it, I guess, to like 120, but I felt like if a couple of those players had good hands, they might make the call on us. And, you know, if somebody's got like pocket jacks or queens and they outflop us, that would be brutal. But whatever, it is what it is. We took that one down. I don't really regret that play. All right, here we had pocket tens, and this was a tricky hand for me. I'm going to end up making a call here. I'm not going to 3-bet this. We've got a late position raiser. So, but he was still not in like my position. So I figured he had a decent hand here, probably like, you know, could have a pocket pair, a couple overcards. I decided just to flat here. So I'm just going to make the call with 2 other players to act for relatively cheap. I don't think this is necessarily always a 3-bet. I mean, you can. I just didn't do it this time. Okay, pretty safe board for us. You do have the flush out there, but we still have pocket tens, and you know, seeing a 10 on the turn would be nice here. Okay, so we put in a continuation bet to be expected. Not very big. I make the call. Turn card, another safe one. Now, ace-5 got there, but not thinking that at all. And we are just going to take it to the river here. Now, I should have bet there to protect my hand, but I didn't. That was a mistake. But he's going to end up putting in a bet here, which was a little bit confusing to me. I'm just going to make the call because I had no idea what this guy had. And actually, I think checking there worked out maybe for us. Maybe he would have called it, but, you know, we took it down there. What a nice little hand. All right, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed another session here. I thought this was, you know, some pretty interesting spots, but tight aggressive online, it can work, but as you move up in stakes, you got to start adding some bluffs into the mix. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Tap that like if you haven't, and we'll see you on the next poker video.